I just wanted to thank you for showing up today for this, and to let you know that we're going to talk about something really important, I think is really important. And because as you know, a lot of people are, there's a lot of mixed emotions going on, people celebrating president-elect, people really upset about the president-elect, and we really want to reframe everything for you to help you understand that what's going on is part of the awakening on the planet. You know, as disturbing as it may be for some people, or even as celebratory as it could be for the other people, we want you to understand what's actually going on, okay, and what this is about, because it's chances are it's not what you think it is. It's just not what you think it is. And it's all good. It's all good. So I want to just get into this like right away with you, and talk about it, and really dig into the truth of it, because it is about ascension. It is that's the only thing that's happening on the planet right now. Right. So, and that's why the times you're living in are so challenging, because the planet's ascending. What that means is that all the darkness, which simply means what we're not aware of, is being shaken loose and coming to the surface. And we can either go with it, or we can be in resistance to it. And the quality of our life is going to depend on our choice of what we're going to do about that. Are we going to go with the flow, or are we going to be in resistance? So let's talk about what's happening on a spiritual level. Okay. And I don't know if you've heard of this concept, this idea about there being two Earths, like two versions of Earth being formed right now in this moment. It's been going on for a while, but it's described as a splitting of realities, in which humanity is collectively choosing different vibrational paths. Right. So in this framework, two parallel realities are forming based on the choices and vibrations that individuals resonate with. People of like mind and like heart are coming together. Right. And the concept of the two Earths represent distinct vibrational paths or timelines that are gradually diverging. They're breaking apart, like they're separating. Whereas up until now, it's been like meshed together, right? It's all together. You can obviously you can still see it, right? You can see the dissension in our country, the US, and even around the world, there's a lot of conflict. So you can see all that playing out. But what's really happening is people are choosing. They're choosing which reality, by what beliefs they're choosing to hold, and then what actions you're taking based on those beliefs. Now, obviously, you know, you're going to look at the other people with maybe a little concern or disdain or whatever you want to call it. But I invite you to be more neutral about it and understand everybody's choosing what they're choosing, and it's okay. Because at the end of the day, we all go home and nothing really has gone wrong. It's just, what are you choosing to live right now is really the main point. Okay, so one Earth represents the reality of fear, conflict, and limitation, while the other Earth vibrates with love, harmony, inclusion, and expansion. So it's like negative and positive. And negative doesn't mean bad or wrong. It's just negative frequency is like limiting, is constricting, it's segregating, and love is inclusive. Love doesn't judge, it just accepts and embraces all. That's why it's expansion. And negativity is kind of a contraction. So I think you can, if I paint that picture for you, you can kind of see, looking at what's playing out in the world, again, not just in the US, and say, yeah, there are the negative camp and the positive camp. And again, I don't want to put judgment on it and say, well, those people are bad, like the people going to fear are bad, because they're not. They're just choosing the experience that they're ready for or they're choosing to explore in this life. And we do well to respect that, say, all right, there's still creator, there's still an aspect of source of God and all that is. And so let them have their choice, let them have their reality. The only reason people push against others they don't agree with is because really you're afraid that their reality is going to push in on yours. And that's not really possible if you understand how creation is set up, because it's only in your resisting them, like looking at them and saying, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that, does that reality then become magnified in your reality? Because it's your attention to it and your resistance to it, your judgment of it, that actually makes it become a stronger presence in your life. So one of the first things, and we'll go more into it, but one of the first things you need to do is just like get off of that and say, okay, that's not what I'm choosing. I don't want to do that. Don't worry. You letting them be doesn't mean they're going to like overrun you. Because again, you don't understand the power of your thoughts and your focus to attract what you don't like based on you judging it and thinking about it and obsessing about it and just going on and worrying about it. That is what's going to draw it to you. So just don't do it. Just stop. Now, these Earths are not literal planets, obviously, right? They're not physical planets in that sense. They're rather representations of collective consciousness, although in a very real sense, they are real, but not in the 3D reality that you're thinking of. That's on a whole other spiritual level. But one Earth is based on fear, obviously. We can see that, and resistance. And it's a path where people may continue to experience challenges, turmoil, and resistance to change. And in this version, Earth's vibration is heavier and is tied to older paradigms of fear and control. Now, the other Earth, the Earth that we, and I'm going to assume many of you are wanting to more activate in your reality, resonates with love and openness and embodying the ideals of unity, growth, and harmony. And anyone aligned with this reality will be more open to new perspectives and spiritual evolution and a collaborative, peaceful way of living. So what you and I are doing, what everyone's doing, whether they're conscious of it or not, and it's better if you're conscious of it that you're deliberately choosing. We're choosing our preferred reality, right? We're always making choices that align us with one Earth or the other one based on our beliefs, our actions, and thoughts. So essentially, we are shifting vibration. And the more we resonate with love, compassion, non-judgment, and openness, the more aligned we become with the positive Earth. Focusing on what excites and uplifts us automatically aligns us with the higher vibration Earth, as well as being in the present, staying present, which is where all of our power is, right here, right now, not in the past, not in the future, right here, right now. And when we're in the moment, in the present, and we're mindful, being present, all that's crucial because it allows us to consciously choose thoughts and feelings that elevate our vibration. Focusing on joy, excitement, and trust in the present moment aligns us with the positive Earth. Here we also need to take personal responsibility. Choosing the reality we prefer is a matter of taking personal responsibility and understanding that we are not victims. We are creators. So we would do well to look within ourselves and recognize any limiting beliefs and definitions, and then actively work on shifting those and replacing them with positive thoughts and beliefs and actions that match those positive thoughts and beliefs. So basically, to summarize that, the two Earths concept, the key takeaway is that the two Earths aren't physical divisions. They do represent the diverging paths in consciousness, which is what you're seeing. Okay, it is like, that's why things are so polarized. It's supposed to be this way. right? Everything's on the table for everybody to look at all the crap, all the craziness, and going, well, do I prefer that or do I prefer this? What do I prefer, right? The concept emphasizes that we each have the power to shape our experiences by choosing which beliefs and emotions that we wish to cultivate. So more than ever right now, we need to act with intention, focused intention, as our choices today, it's always been this way, especially now in the heightened frequencies that are hitting us. Our choices today create the reality that we'll experience tomorrow. All right. But in relation to the whole two Earths concept, I want to talk about also about dimensions and densities. A lot of you've heard of the whole idea of, fifth dimension. We're supposed to rise to the fifth dimension. We're supposed to live in the fifth dimension or evolve to the fifth dimension. That's actually not accurate. Fifth dimension, also fifth density, is actually the spirit world, right? You can't be in the fifth dimension. You can commune with the fifth dimension, which many of you do if you're connecting with loved ones in the spirit world or your guides, your angels. You can absolutely, as a consciousness, connect, right? Have experiences, communicate, but you can't be there. You can't really go into the fifth dimension and live there, or fifth density. Fifth density is part of fifth dimension. So where are we? Where are we really right now? Well, we exist right now in the fourth dimension. We call it fourth dimension because it is the dimension of space and time, right? So 3D is height, width, length, right? So 3D, that's 3D physical reality, and then time. And in fifth dimension, fifth density, there's no time. And there's certainly no 3D. So can you see why in fifth dimension, you can't be there in a body? You just can't. That's part of the definition. It's a higher vibrational state. You can't be in that vibrational state with a physical body because your physical body has an ego personality construct, right? So you have to drop that ego. If you drop that ego, you can't be physical anymore. So let's just get that clear, that what we are talking about when we're talking about spiritual evolution is rising to fourth density within the fourth dimension. Dimensions can be likened to a framework of reality. So think of a dimension like a country, and the country, each dimension has unique characteristics, as any country does, right? Every country is different. Whereas densities, right, are not countries, they are actually vibrational states or represent levels of consciousness within that country that we can experience within a given dimension. So think of it like states within a country. Now, in the fourth dimension, we have different densities. We have what you and I are in right now, third density. Most people are just in third density, and we are rising to fourth density. That is what ascension is about, the rise to fourth density while you're still in a body. That is the highest frequency you can achieve, the high state of existence that you can achieve. That's really what people are talking about when they're saying we are evolving to fifth dimension. They're talking about fourth density. Okay, so I just want you to get clear when you hear that. And you absolutely can, and I recommend, there's no shoulds here, but I'd recommend you make it your goal to rise to fourth density, because now in your lifetime, more than ever before, that is achievable. This wasn't so much the case even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, certainly 10, 20 years ago, right? So as humanity keeps expanding, its consciousness keeps rising up together, because we're all in this together. And even if you don't want to rise up, you're going to rise up on some level. It's a question of, are you in resistance Are you really in fear and negativity? Then you're in third density. Some people clearly are in lower third density, meaning that they're at like, and again, I'm not judging. You're just observing. This is just observable fact. Some people are in very low third density, and we'll talk about what that is characterized by. Okay, and what fourth density is characterized by. But you can raise up to fourth. And those of you who are connecting with someone in the spirit world, or even guides, because I want to remind everybody, some of you maybe don't know my story, but the way I woke up spiritually was communicating with my guides. It wasn't someone I loved in the spirit world, it was my guides, but you can bet they loved me. And letting that love in, communicating with them, blending with them, channeling them, kept me in fourth density, kept me in the gamma brainwave state. That's a channeling state. That's why we're going to teach channeling later this month. We're going to teach automatic writing, because it was through channeling that I raised my frequency. And it changed my whole life. It even healed me physically, right? So when you understand that you can reach that, and that someone in the spirit world or a guide, because again, it doesn't have to be a loved one, it can be anyone in spirit, including your spirit team. And if you are connecting with them, you're bringing that fifth dimension energy, right? Fifth density energy into third density. That alone in time, okay, not automatic, it will take practice. That can take you to fourth density. But you're going to go through a transformation. You're going to have to go through a transformation. I had to go through a transformation, because that energy, that high frequency energy, is going to shake loose again what doesn't fit, it doesn't match you. And any limiting beliefs that you're holding that are not yours, that aren't really match your core frequency, that's going to be illuminated. You're going to realize, oh my God, why am I feeling so nervous or upset or angry? All that stuff's going to come out. It's part of your transformation. Because a lot of spiritual people think you should just open up and just be kumbaya all day long and never have a care. It's not like that. You can get to that place when you process what you need to process, when you let go what you need to let go of. But you don't get there by just snapping your fingers, or now Alan's showing me like Dorothy and Wizard of Oz and clicking your red shoes together and going, take me home, or like, take me back to Kansas. Like, it doesn't happen like that. Not for most people. And it doesn't have to be a long drawn out process. I'm not saying that, but it's going to take whatever time it's going to take, because every person is unique. Every person's journey is going to be unique. You can't compare, right? So let's go dig in a little bit more to third density. I want you to understand why you're seeing what you're seeing, because third density, which is what humanity is moving out of, not all of humanity, obviously, but many are moving out of it. In third density, we have been more focused on the individual, on the ego too, on top of that, because individual, right? So it's more about doing your own thing, being separate, and not so much concerned about community or others. I mean, some people were, obviously, but in third density, you're focused on separation and survival. It's really survival. You just focus on you. So you're only caring about you and your immediate family, people you care about, not so much the broader community, okay? And that's why in third density consciousness, individuals often experience a sense of separation. And that's why they focus on survival and competition. And have fear-based motivations. And they have a lack consciousness. There's a belief that there's only so many things, so much resources, right, is limited. This is where you have materialism and limited perception. This density is heavily focused on just the material aspects of life, and often views reality through a lens of limitation, where resources, love, and opportunities, again, are viewed as scarce. Like there's not much. I got to grab what I can, right? I better take what I can. And Alan's telling me now that when he was growing up, because he was born before World War II broke out and was a child growing up during the war, and there was a lot of scarcity consciousness. So he was always just grabbing for whatever he could grab, and felt that he had to do that or he would lose out. I mean, literally, like he wouldn't survive, right? So can you see, looking back in our history, this is what humanity has been living and learning from, right? In 3D, there's a resistance to change, because in 3D, this is a realm where many people are resisting or even fear change because they want to cling to the older paradigms of power and control. This density can be more negative because it emphasizes duality and contrast, like us versus them, right? You see that playing out in the election, not just in our election, all around the world. I don't want to just pick on the US. It's global. Now, in fourth density, here we become more focused on the group. It's more about like a group consciousness. Now, what doesn't mean you blend in with the group and you become like nothing, because some people in third density, that's what they're fighting against. Like, oh, wait a minute, I want to be an individual. I don't want communism, or I don't want to be, just swallowed up by the whole. Well, the paradox is in fourth density, you actually embrace a more genuine and authentic and fulfilling life, because you're completely in tune with who you really are. And you appreciate and respect others who are doing the same. So while, yeah, you're community, focused, you as a person, as an individual, are stronger than in third density. But try telling that to third density person, because they're not going to believe you. They're not ready to hear that. In fourth density, there's a focus on unity and growing awareness, right? And in fourth density consciousness, the ascended earth, right? It involves an expanded awareness of the interconnectedness of all things, because it is a realm of unity consciousness, where people begin to see themselves as co-creators with others, as well as responsible for their own reality. You're always the only one responsible for creating your reality. People can try to influence you in what to create in your reality, but they can't jump into your head and think your thoughts and create it for you. Only you can do that. In fourth density, the emphasis is on spiritual growth and self-realization. Fourth density emphasizes spiritual growth, self-awareness, and understanding that reality is shaped by our beliefs, thoughts, and intentions, and the actions that we take from them. Here in fourth density, it's all about vibrational alignment, where individuals are in resonance with higher and more positive vibrations, and they actively seek joy, love, and compassion. This density aligns with the idea of choosing the positive earth by focusing on uplifting frequencies. And here we live in service to others, knowing that when we do that, we too are served, because the other person we know is us. In third density, that's especially the lower level of third density, that's not really understood, because again, it's like scarcity consciousness, survival based. So it's only in fourth density that you lift up. So humanity is collectively experiencing a dimensional shift, and that's what the ascension process is. That's where we're moving from third density to fourth. Now, this shift is not sudden, it's not immediate, it's a gradual transition in consciousness, right? Where individuals individually are aligning with the earth that resonates with their dominant vibration. Because ultimately, ascension is a choice. And ascension, of course, isn't even about physically moving somewhere. You're not going anywhere. Rather, it's about tuning into, right, your consciousness, tuning into a different frequency of reality. And by raising our consciousness to align with fourth density principles like love, compassion, and unity, we can shift into a reality that is more harmonious. That reality exists right now. All of those two planets, the two Earths, exist right now, right? Because there are two coexisting realities. So as we ascend to fourth density, both third density that currently exists and fourth density, yeah, they both exist, coexist. And some people may indeed still focus on the third density Earth, anchored in fear and separation, while others move into fourth density, experiencing unity and higher levels of awareness. And this again reflects the two Earths metaphor, where 3D or third density is the Earth that is more negatively oriented, right? And fourth density is the Earth aligned with positive transformation and ascension. Right? So how to navigate this shift becomes important. Like, how are we going to do this? How are we participating in our own ascension process? Well, first, we might want to claim our power and understand that what we focus on grows stronger, as I've said a little bit ago. And what we resist, as in judging, is wrong or negative. It only draws it to us, just like a magnet. So what you want to do amid all the chaos, all the negativity, you want to focus on what you prefer instead and resist judging others for their choices, because love never rejects or condemns. Doesn't mean you have to go make them your friends. We're not suggesting that. They're not on your wavelength. We get it. You just say, bless them and go your own way. Just be you. That's really your life purpose, is to be you. And very few people, especially in third density, are being themselves. That's the whole problem. They are walking around with all this baggage of limiting beliefs and fears and trauma that don't belong to them, that are not in resonance with their true core being, which is love. So if you can be you, the authentic, genuine you, free of the beliefs you've taken on from others, like your parents, like your teachers, like your friends, like your society, right? If you let all that go, because if you're carrying beliefs that don't belong to you, it will weigh you down. It will lower your frequency. It will make you distorted because you're running these negative limiting filters, and all the source energy is trying to come into you to fill you up, to heal you, to enlighten you, to inform you, to guide you. It's all being blocked or distorted because the filters are all clogged up with those limiting beliefs. So you just focus on working on you and let others be who they are, because they and the choices they are making have zero effect on you unless you give them your attention, which means you're essentially handing them your power. So don't do it. Understand the dynamics at play here. This is the nature of existence. What you put out is what you get back. What you focus on gets bigger. What you withdraw your attention from kind of dissipates, because you're not feeding it your energy. You're not feeding it your attention. You're not getting upset about it, which is the same thing. You're giving it attention. So what you don't like, just let it go. Walk away, but don't condemn it, because when you condemn it, that energy of condemnation attaches it to you. Okay, so resist that urge. I know the reason people do that is because they think they have to push something away, like they have to block it and they have to keep vigil on it. But really what they're doing is creating the exact thing they don't want. So instead, we suggest you cultivate higher vibrations and focus on positive emotions like joy, gratitude, and compassion. For all of those aligns you with fourth density consciousness. It is as simple as that. It's your physical mind that's going, wait a minute, there's got to be more involved. It can't be that simple, because your physical mind has been programmed to believe that life is supposed to be hard, it's supposed to be complicated. You got to work, you got to keep, kind of alert for danger. It is fear-based. But it's not supposed to be like that. Life is not supposed to be like that. And it's certainly not like that in fourth density. So you got to release your fears and limiting beliefs. And if something comes up in your face that triggers your fear, you say, thank you very much. I didn't realize I still had a fear about that. I'm going to let that go. So bless it. Don't go, oh my God, there's a fear that I have. I'm going to run away now. Just thank it and say, I'm not choosing this. Because letting go of those fear-based beliefs is what you need to do. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in the 3D mindset. Okay, so let it go. Thank the negative belief and let it go. It served you for a time and now you don't need it anymore, right? The other thing you need to do is follow your excitement. Because when you follow what brings you joy, what you're curious about, what you feel drawn to, right? You just feel like, I don't know why I want to do this thing. I feel real excited and interested, fascinated by it. Then you're aligning with your higher self because that's the language of the higher self. Positive emotion like excitement, curiosity, love, passion, curiosity, whatever you feel attracted to, not out of fear or anxiety now, but out of passion, like excitement, positive. You have to discern that. So when you follow that, in fact, the truth is, unless you follow your excitement, then you're not going to align with your higher self and you cannot live in fourth density. Because that's one of the definitions, shall we say, of being in fourth density, is that you're following your excitement in every moment. You can recognize it. It's like the trail of breadcrumbs that you follow throughout your day. I mean, literally throughout your day. Oh, what am I going to do now? Oh, I feel like I do. Oh, what am I going to knit? What am I going to do now? And you live in the moment. You're not concerned about the past. I don't mean you don't look back with nostalgia because that's different, but you're not focused on especially regret and guilt, which is the past. You don't do that. You recognize that that's useless because all you have is now and it doesn't exist anymore. So why are you going back to beat yourself up or beat somebody else up when all you have is right now? You don't do that. You live in the moment. You let the future take care of itself. It doesn't mean you don't make plans, but you're not obsessing about what's coming, what next. You're not worrying about, am I missing something? Because you know that if you're living in fourth density, you will absolutely know what you need to know when you need to know it. And you're not worried about missing out on anything because you understand that your higher self, which is your soul, right, has got it all down. It's making sure you get everything you need. It's just that nobody taught you that. You were instead taught that life was for struggle. You have to fight for what you want. You have to work hard. I don't mean that you don't have to work hard. I work harder now than I've ever had, but I work hard because I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I don't work hard because I'm pushing and forcing things and hitting my head against a wall because I was told you got to do that. You got to break through. So no, I go, no, I don't feel like doing that. I'll do this, but I do jump into it full on, 100% of my energy. And at the end of the day, I go, okay, I'm tired now. And I had a good day because I feel like I let myself live full out, right? That's how you're meant to live. Now, what this means too for interdimensional relationships, for those of you who are in our group or following our channel, in fourth density, we're living at the border between the physical world and the spirit world. Fourth density is literally living in a heaven on earth. With, in a sense, 1 foot planted in the spirit world and one in the physical world. I mean, not literally, because like I said, you can't take your body into the fourth density. But what I mean is you have access to fifth density, fifth dimension. Is easy access because you're right there on the threshold. So you can see spirit, hear spirit, feel spirit. The veil doesn't exist for you, except to whatever degree you've chosen it to exist. The veil, by the way, is not a law of existence. It's just another example of a collective agreement that we created. Like we agreed to have gravity. We agreed that we should create gravity so we don't have to constantly worry about, oh, am I grounded to the earth? Am I connected to the earth? I'm going to float away off the earth. I need to be sure gravity's on. No, we agreed that would be too much trouble, would distract from living our life in this world. So we agreed there'd be a law of gravity, but that's not an unbreakable law. And neither is a veil separating the two worlds. Can you understand that as humanity rises to fourth density, that's where many people begin to see spirit? Okay, see spirit, feel spirit, where it becomes, they see other dimensions too, other realities too. Okay, that is part of it. In fourth density, time becomes more malleable. It almost feels like slippery. Like you have moments where you go, which reality I'm in. Sometimes time seems to go by really slow. Sometimes time seems to go by really fast. That is one example of what it is to be in fourth density. It's like being in a lucid dream, in a sense, but awake. Like you're dreaming and you're conscious that this life is something you're creating, and you have synchronicities all the time that are not coincidences. It's like constant. The more synchronicity you experience, that is a sign that you're edging into fourth density. In fourth density, miracles and magic are commonplace. And if they don't happen, that's more of the exception. Actually, in third density, of course, people say miracles are the exception, right? Well, that's in third density. In fourth density, it becomes an everyday occurrence because you're in the flow. And when you're in the flow of life and you're not in resistance to who you are, you're not carrying emotional baggage and limiting beliefs that weigh you down, that don't help you, that block you, that distort you, then you're clear. Your energy's clear, right? You're healthier. You will age slower, maybe even be ageless, because your vibration is just high. This is higher. So your relationships between the veil, okay, can be the most extraordinary when you're in fourth density, because you have an enhanced quality of life. You yourself are at a high vibration, right? Now, don't get me wrong. People can be in third density and connect through the veil, and they're doing it right now. They are. I've worked with some people, especially in the beginning when I started doing this work. And some of them, a couple of them, they had physical contact. But oh my God, emotionally, mentally, physically, terrible shape. I mean, sick. I mean, depressed. I mean, you name it, like problems that you do not want. Okay. But they have contact through the veil. They can hear their loved one. They can touch their loved one. They can see them. So I'm just trying to tell you that you don't want what I call lower third density interdimensional relationship. You just don't. Now that you know, you could have a fourth dimensional, right? Fourth density interdimensional relationship. Wouldn't you want the best you could have? Like, would you settle, right? Instead, for Alan's saying, are you going to settle for a moped when you could drive a Mercedes Benz or whatever the car of your choice is? What are you going to choose? The moped will still get you where you want to go, but boy, your quality of transportation, the quality of life you're going to have if you're driving, I don't know, the SUV of your choice or the Mercedes or whatever it is that you want to drive. He's showing me, for some reason, showing me a Ferrari, but that's just him. Maybe he's like him in his sports cars, but he's just trying to let you know, yeah, you can still have a relationship and not rise up to fourth density. And maybe that's enough for you. But not enough for me. I don't, that's for sure. But that's your choice. What do you prefer? What do you want? What would make you happy? There's no judgment in any of it. You can have what you want, but we're just trying to explain to you why this time is critical. Yes, in some ways very concerning. Yes, we get it. But it's also exciting. So can you look at things in your life, even when they're challenging, even when they're difficult, and go, "Oh, that's really exciting." Like today, getting ready to talk to you guys, I was organizing notes. I was trying to organize my thoughts, and I was looking at my, and I don't really have a clock watch, right? But I'm looking at my clock, and I'm going, "Okay, getting late." And I go, and I heard Ellen go, "Yeah, isn't it exciting? Like to just be running running for toward this deadline." And I go, "Yeah, you know what, I kind of always live like that, and maybe I guess I must choose to do that because it doesn't bother me." All right, so I just want you to understand you have an amazing opportunity to have this incredible relationship through the veil, whether it's with your guide, whether it's with your loved one, whoever. And what occurred to me this morning when I was talking to the other side before this class, and they said, "Pam, you do know that everybody has somebody in the spirit world that loves them unconditionally and that would like to help them awaken. So really, our work is for everyone." I mean, clearly we focus a lot on people just like me who've lost their partner. But, in our academy, we don't only have partners. We have people who are connecting with other family members, or they're people who actually are just here for their personal growth, their spiritual growth. So it's everything. But Spirit said to me, but it is the love, accepting the love, unconditional love from the other side. Again, whether it's a spirit guide or angel or a loved one. They said that does open up people. Okay, it does awaken people. So everyone can take advantage of that. And maybe if more people understood that, right, that's the direct path. And that's why Alan and I are very keen on teaching channeling, because I know from my journey of just channeling like every day. Oh, there we go again, Alan. He wants to give you a thumbs up. Channeling every day for like 5 months. That just blew everything open for me. I don't recommend it, doing it, for 5 months, but doing it is for as long as it brings you joy, absolutely. Because if it's bringing you joy, that means it's part of your soul's path. Right. So there, I hope we gave you a bit to feel optimistic about, to not go down into the dumps, or even if you're celebrating, Trump. And again, I'm neutral about that. Celebrating him, you can see, because I know even people who are celebrating him are going, "Yeah, but there was a lot of chaos coming." It's like, oop, what's happening? So everybody, in a sense, is a bit kind of on edge, because you really don't know. And what spirits told me is that there'll be a lot of things that happen that are unpredictable. Okay, that we may think is going one way and then it goes another way, or it's like the only thing maybe that's predictable is that it'll be unpredictable. I don't know. So this is even more reason why you might want to really focus on just what do I choose to create in my world, and really understand your power as the soul creator of your life, of your world. Okay, because it's always been that way. And over the next, especially within the next couple of years and beyond, but especially the next couple of years, more people are going to wake up spiritually and begin to realize, wait a minute, I am a spirit. Like, this is what the negativity is doing, believe it or not. It's kind of getting people to question. Just like when someone passes away, we experience the illusion of their death because they're not really dead. But when we experience something intense like that, people start asking big questions like, what is this world coming to, right? Or where did my loved one go? What is life about? Is there a death? And those big questions can change us, can be opportunities for us to redefine, like, what is reality? What is existence? Who am I? So we're not expecting you to just swallow whatever I say. Okay, we're not. What I am, let's say, inviting you to is to understand that you are a soul who is completely psychic, because every soul is psychic. So you can feel the resonance of truth. And in fact, during these times of chaos, that's the only real way you're going to be able to tell what's the truth is within your own heart. Like, does it feel right to you? Okay, so this is one simple way, and I've taught this before in other lives and in our academy. So this is a really basic, a basic way to do it. That thumbs up thing. What is with Alan? Okay, this is really simple. So when you are trying to discern anything, like we're going to give you a couple examples. So if you feel you heard something from the spirit world, like a message or a sign or anything that happened, and you're wondering, well, who's that from, right? Like, who's that from? First of all, know that if it just pops into your mind, that is not your physical mind. Your physical mind doesn't do that. So stop asking, oh, did I make that up? No. Unless you deliberately conjured it up. No, 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 no. Unless you constantly always do that, right? But most of you, 95% of you, no, you don't do that. So if something just pops into your awareness, that is coming from up, not here, third dimension, up, okay, higher up. I mean, it could be coming from somebody on this level psychically, but because you are attempting to communicate with the other side, many of you, like really you're working on that, right? You're not just like sitting around going, ah, da, 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 da. You actually, that's your intention. So when that's your intention, you think like they're like not focused on you? Because spirit, I know this, spirit is always focused on you, even people who are not into this. But when you are, when you're like, this is important to me, I want to connect with my guides or my loved one, they're all over it. Okay, so when something pops in, yeah, you may not be able to tell, well, who is that from? Because it just came in and you're just learning discernment. Some of you may know immediately because you can feel, let's say, your partner, like, oh, that's his energy. I can just feel that. Or you can tell by what the message was. Like, oh, that's what, like for me, oh yeah, that's Alan. He's saying, oh, that's an altogether better thing. That's, he says that every so often. I go, okay, I know that's you. So that's different. But if something comes in, you're not sure, I want you to take that information and imagine that you're putting it on the palm of your hand, either hand, just put it there. Put that statement and then ask, all right, is this you, Alan? Like maybe I'd do that. And then I'd hold it to my heart and I'd feel the answer. Like, yeah, okay. In case I didn't hear him. Okay, like I'd feel it. And I'd feel it and just go, okay. And if I'm not sure, to me, if I would say if I'm not sure, that's like neutral, that's like kind of a no. But I wouldn't worry about it because I'd get other, I could ask again. In fact, I haven't been known to do that. Say, wait, is that you? And then I trust the next thing I hear, or I feel, or I see, or I know. And you'll go, well, yeah, it's me. Who else did you think it was? Oh, yeah, okay. You can do that. Okay. Who is it? Is that you? Or if somebody says something to you, now here where we're going to discern the truth. So somebody says something to you and you put that on the palm of your hand, hold it to your heart and go, all right, is this true for you? Okay, that's all you care about. Is this true for me? Is this my truth? Because it could be their truth and it might not be yours. All you care about is this my truth? Because if it isn't, then you want to let go. So you will know, you'll feel it. You'll feel it. Just keep practicing it. Keep practicing it. Okay. You might even put a statement on there that you know is not your truth and see if you can feel the lack of resonance of that. Okay. It's just about expecting that you'll be able to know, that you'll be able to discern it. That's all it is. Just be able to discern it. If you believe you can know the truth for you, you will know the truth for you. If you believe, choose to believe, that it's impossible for you, then you won't. It is that simple. So we suggest you choose to believe if you want to know the truth. If you don't want to know the truth, then it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter. So, all right. So yeah, we're on Zoom here and we're live streaming, but we have folks in the chat here, and I just want to welcome everybody and say, thanks for joining us. And we're going to, wow, we've got, Robert there. Hi, Robert from Adelaide, and Catherine from San Francisco. Yeah, all of you from all over the place. I'm just looking at your comments. I want to do, Alan's reminding you, we want to do a meditation, and then we're going to do some readings for some of you that we choose. We're not going to get the readings yet, but I'd like to do an exercise for you. Okay. Peggy's asking me, what do you think of muscle testing? For what? For spirit communication? I don't really, I have done muscle testing. I don't think it's really muscle testing and pendulum dowsing and things like that. I don't think are to know the truth. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. But I'd also suggest you ask on a soul level, because everything we're teaching is to open up you to your own awareness, your own natural, your own natural higher self's guidance, rather than you having to do a pendulum or muscle testing, like feeling that within you to know. Well, here's the thing: the truth is relative. This is the challenge with things like muscle testing. Whose truth is true? Which reality are we talking about? So the more you can make, okay, hold on, Ellen's telling me something. He says, muscle testing, like pendulum dowsing, can be influenced by your subconscious. So if your subconscious is clear, completely clear, now subconscious is not below conscious. Subconscious is actually above, meaning it's of a higher frequency. Your conscious mind is the lowest frequency. Subconscious, unconscious is higher. So if you've got limiting beliefs, fears in your subconscious, that can influence your muscle testing and your pendulum dowsing. He says that's the challenge you have with that, because it's going to filter everything. You see what I mean? So in other words, if somebody has a lot of I'm not saying this is you, but somebody has a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of fears, right? It doesn't matter what tool they use. It doesn't matter if they're an expert pendulum dowser, muscle testing is their jam. It doesn't matter. They're still going to get distorted answers because it has to be filtered through their limiting beliefs. Does everybody understand that? You cannot compensate for that. You cannot make up for that. That's how reality is structured, that what comes from higher mind, from source, from God, like message, has to go through your limiting beliefs, right? So it's going to impact everything that you do and experience in the physical world, including your muscle testing. You understand? Does that make sense? Because that is how it is. You can't take your beliefs out of the equation. They are going to filter what comes through. They're going to be reflected in your outer reality. You can't avoid that. It's part of what you're putting out that you're getting back. So you can't, Alan says, you can't get away from you. Wherever you go, there you are, you and your wonderful limiting beliefs, if you have limiting beliefs. Okay, so, but a lot of people are thinking, well, if I just got this tool, if I just got that tool, no. Hold it. You don't get it. You are the only tool that really matters. None of that other stuff, he says, are just props. The difference between, I'm saying putting your hand on your heart and feeling the resonance of that, because what happens is you're going to start opening your heart and trusting what you're feeling. Okay, your heart is your actual brain. Lori says, your meditations knock me out. I go back and listen in 3D. I feel rested and rejuvenated in a 12, 17-minute meditation. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay, so we're going to put you into a deep state right now. Okay. Because what Spirit wants me to do is guide you into an experience of more connecting with your, your higher self, your soul, your they're showing me your heart, okay, like who you really are, because that's your path forward through all this what's going on in the world, is to, when, especially when things go crazy in your life, in your world, in everybody's life, right? Things go a little bit nuts, that you go within and you feel in, and in that moment you realize you're fine, everything's okay, and you're guided and you're safe. And when things are going haywire, the first thing we all need to do is just calm down. Okay, you just have to calm down first. You can't go, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do a tarot reading, or I'm going to go. Don't stop with the doing part. Focus on just being still, letting go of the fear. If you want to call in your angels or your guides, do that. They're always trying everything they can to help you, but you got to help yourself, right? You've got to do work, in a sense, right? Of just having the perseverance and taking control of your thoughts when they go negative. And I understand if that happens, but turning that around and going, I'm not choosing to believe in negative crap. I'm turning off the stupid news, because I promise you, they're telling me 80% of it is all distorted. Both, all of it. Okay, it doesn't matter who the news is from. Oh, Alan's teasing. He goes, the only person he listens to is Jon Stewart. Yeah, the only news person you can really count on is a comedian. Okay, not somebody part of the mainstream media. So anyway, don't listen to the news. Calm down. Like several of my friends have said, if you don't listen to the news and something major is happening, don't worry, you're going to hear about it, because you're going to tell, your friends are going to tell you, hey, did you hear this happened? You go, oh no, I didn't know that. You're just living your life in your own reality bubble. We're going to talk about that another time with our students. We're all creating our own reality bubble here. This is what I was talking about, the two Earths thing. Beyond the two Earth thing, right? Like the positive Earth and the negative 3D Earth, the positive fourth density Earth, okay? In that Earth, we're creating on realities. We are creating a reality. We're having an interdimensional relationship is common, because there's no rules here. There's no rules here. So the more you put your energy into that, the more you just really just live in that world in your imagination, you're activating it, you're allowing yourself to experience it more. It's going to become your true reality. So ignore the other people doing their thing, because the worlds are splitting. As Bashar talks about the splitting prism, we're choosing which reality we prefer. So this is a real thing. Pretty soon you're not going to even know about all the negative stuff. You really won't. So choose what you want. So right now, let's get you relaxed. All right. Get comfortable wherever you are. And I'd like you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And let go. Let go. Let go. Let go of stress, worry, Let go of energies that don't belong to you. Well, just let it all go and just imagine it just falling away. Like it's all shaking loose. You see, all of that stuff, in fact, Ellen wants to call it all that crap, it's not yours. None of it is real. All that dense lower energy, that's not part of your true vibration. So it falls away when you let it go. So see, feel, or imagine it breaking loose. You might even imagine it shattering into a million pieces and turning into dust. And now the wind comes through and blows it away. Right? It can be as simple as that, as simple as using the power of your intention to declare what you prefer. In this case, you prefer to release any energies that no longer serve you, that do not belong to you. You're letting it go now. Letting it dissolve into nothingness. Right? And take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, release any last residual energies that you no longer need, that no longer serve you, that do not match your true essence, your true core frequency. Let it go. We're calling in your angels to help you clear your space, clear your body of what doesn't match your core frequency. And just using your power, the power of your intention, give it over to them. Just let it go. Release, release, release. And feel your energy expand and rise and strengthen. Feel yourself getting clearer and stronger, more vibrant, more alive, more peaceful, and more determined than ever to live as your true, authentic self without apology or concern for what anybody might think, because it's none of their business. Let people believe or think whatever they choose. Let them have the freedom to have their own experience while you claim your freedom and choice to have your own. You're free to be, do, and have whatever you choose. So in this moment, decide how you want to live. Envision the life that you want to live now, not next month or even next week, now. We invite you to see it in your mind's eye. See yourself living your best life. And feel how happy and excited and joyful it is to live full out without any restriction, but without any caring about anything or anybody. Not that you don't love others, but you're not worried about them. Not that you don't care how they're doing, but again, you're not overly concerned. You know they're on their own journey and they have to have their own struggles. So you let go of that. You let them have their experience and you hold positive intentions and visions for them. You don't put out worry thoughts about them, which only come back to create worry within you and weaken you. No, instead, in this life that you're creating now, You're free of that. You're free of anxiety and worry and fear because you're living fully in the now, in the present. And that's all you're paying attention to. So, what is there to fear when nothing's gone wrong in this moment? So, you're focusing all your power here in the now. And notice how good it feels to have all of your energy, all of it, 100% of it, right here, right now, running through your body. You've let go of lower energies. Sure, you might have some limiting beliefs you still need to clean up. Big deal. No worries. You got this. But you cleared out what you could clear out. And that's huge. And take a deep breath in and see if you can let go of anything else you've been holding on to. Any last niggling fear or doubt or worry. Any thoughts of judgment about yourself and others. Any unforgiveness that you're still holding towards others. Can you let that go now? Can you love them unconditionally, even if they're not perfect? Can you love yourself unconditionally, knowing that even if you make any errors, you are perfect. Everything is perfectly unfolding right now, and you are the most perfect version of yourself right now that you can be. And in the next moment, will be another perfect version of you. But right now, you are experiencing the highest experience you could possibly for you. That is the case in every moment. Every moment is perfect, whole, and complete. Every moment can be celebrated just because you exist. And even when something appears to have gone, quote, wrong, it's just something for you to learn from. And it can be welcome too, so that you can clear more stuff out of your basement. And isn't that wonderful that you can identify it so easily and quickly? And letting it go becomes effortless for you in time. As soon as you see something that you don't prefer, you just say, well, I don't like that anymore. And you just throw it off to the side. And away you go as you've raised your frequency again. Now take another deep breath in. And on the exhale, set the intention to align yourself with your spirit, your eternal spirit, which is connected to your soul. Your spirit is the you in this physical incarnation. And of course, your soul is your total self. But align with your spirit, align with your higher self. Know that if and when you should ever feel imbalanced, unsteady, unsure, or insecure, all you have to do is go within, call in your higher self by putting your hand on your heart and breathing into your heart space and feeling your spirit in a deeper way. For you are always connected to your spirit, just like you were always part of your soul. So all we are doing is bringing that more into your awareness so that you can experience the connection you have eternally to this greater expanded part of you. Know that your soul is always guiding you to what is best for you. It knows your soul plan. It knows what you're here to experience, what you've chosen as your destiny. And it is delivering it to you. It cannot not deliver it to you because that is its sole purpose. Your spirit, your higher self, is always, always without fail, directing the course of your life through synchronicities, coincidences that are not coincidences. They're giving you ideas that just come into your mind, giving you a nudge, a feeling of doing something that seems like you can't even resist it because the impulse feels so positive. That is the call of your soul. And it's urging you to follow your joy and excitement. Because when you do that, when you do anything for the joy of it, you are putting that out to the universe. And the universe has no choice but to send back to you more experiences, people, and things that will yield you more joy. So imagine living your life in the flow of that, knowing that with every choice you make to choose something joyful or exciting, something that captures your imagination or curiosity, but every time you do that, that you're launching positive energy out to the world and it's coming back to you in ways that are beyond your logical mind's ability to comprehend. But your soul can comprehend it. Your soul is guiding you and leading the way. So let it lead the way. Trust the control that your higher mind, your higher self has laid out for you. The only way that you can get in your own way is if you worry and fuss and look to people and what they're doing that you don't prefer and drawing that into your reality. But instead, you're going to choose to live focused on your joy, knowing that higher guidance will always see to it that if there's something you need to do to take care of yourself and those you love, it will let you know. Because it is driving the vehicle that is your life. And it won't let you make a wrong turn as long as you're following your joy, as long as you're trusting the flow of your life. It's okay that you didn't understand the nature of existence until maybe this moment, that the universe has always been on your side. So instead, you were choosing to experience the contrast of life, of living from the belief that the world is against you and therefore creating that experience. But now, in this moment, you are choosing deliberately to experience the universe having your back, being completely supportive, helping you manifest everything. Everything that you need has already been arranged to come to you. You cannot miss the delivery of that unless you focus instead on what you want. Because many times what you want is coming from your logical mind, your ego. And the only thing that's really going to fulfill you is getting your needs met. And your soul knows this. It knows what you really need to fulfill you. So relax and trust in that. When you allow your higher self to lead the way, it is never going to allow you to suffer. You're not going to be homeless or broke, impoverished, diseased. You're not going to suffer. That comes from not letting your higher self lead the way and letting your logical mind guide you. That's the path of destruction. That's the path of suffering, because your physical logical mind doesn't see the bigger picture. It is not psychic. It doesn't know what's going to happen. So trust your higher mind. It's leading the way. Feel into that. Really feel into that. Feel into that truth that your higher self is steering you through positive emotion. Sometimes that emotion will be subtle, like just a little impulse of excitement. Sometimes it'll be this full-on joy that you cannot ignore. It doesn't matter how loud it is speaking to you. Your higher mind is always speaking to you. So when you listen and follow that nudge, that impulse in the small things, the everyday things, it'll be much easier for you to trust when your higher mind attempts to guide you to some big decision, okay, to something that may be a huge shift in your life or lead to an achievement of some kind that you've been reaching for. All right. So take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, set the intention to integrate all the work we've done together in this moment. And we invite you to see if you can notice that you've shifted even a little bit, because the truth is you're always changing every second of your life, actually every millisecond of your life, constantly changing, constantly evolving, not going backwards, cannot go backwards. Definition of evolution is growth, right? Growth isn't like deterioration. So you're constantly growing, constantly expanding, constantly becoming more. And the more that you embrace change and understand that change is always positive when you view it from your higher self's perspective, rather than the 3D physical mind's perspective, which rejects change. The physical mind just wants what it already knows because it's familiar with it, and it doesn't trust the unknown because it's trying to control everything. See, this is why your higher mind is the one that's in control, and it completely knows what it's doing, so you can relax and trust. All right. All right, now let's just take a moment to ground ourselves to the earth. Set your intention to send down roots or a grounding cord down through the base of your spine to the core of the planet. Anchor yourself to the earth. Feel yourself connected fully to Gaia, to Mother Earth. In fact, draw up that earth energy into your grounding cord. Let it fill you up to the top of your head. Let that energy swirl around. Let it balance you. Let it center you. Right. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. So here we're going to do some readings. Kind of went over our time, of course, but we want to do some readings anyway. So this is how it's going to work. You have to be, if you want to be chosen for a reading, and we're only doing it for the folks on Zoom, you need to have your camera on first to choose you. And you can ask me about anything. I don't do conventional mediumship. That's just my agreement with the other side. But that doesn't mean I don't get messages from loved ones in spirit. That's not the case. It's just that they've told me that I'm not to say that I do evidential mediumship, and that we will tell you what we tell you. That's all. Okay. So I see Deborah's raised her hand. So Deborah, go ahead. Hey there, my
Hi,
friend.
hi. I have a very, I don't know if it's an unusual question, but it's something I've not encountered. Um, Sometimes when I'm really deep, deep in contemplation, like almost like prayer, I know how to pray in tongues. I literally will speak another language. In the past, when I was much younger, that language could sometimes translate into a channeling a message. It happened once to me. And it actually, I spoke it and then it happened over time. But is it a safe practice? Is it recommended? Should I explore it? Because sometimes I'm doing that. Sometimes I'm almost to that point, and then I go, well, maybe this isn't okay.
No, I mean, how does it feel to you? Because doesn't it feel
Okay.
good to you?
That's a good question because when it happened in my younger years, it literally propelled me into a whole different
Well,
experience.
because speaking in tongues, just like light language, is channeling. It's just that it's not
Okay.
in human language, right? Like
Right.
our human, but it's just the energy. So this perfectly fine. It's like in some cases people just need the energy to come through without having the language attached to it, the verbiage attached to it.
So I guess why I wonder that is because evangelical churches also practice it. And in fact, I learned it from an evangelical experience. But this particular time when it happened was definitely different. It was like my whole
Well,
body.
and it could be a spirit that was connecting to you.
Okay.
To can even be like with light language. One of my friends, like I know with her, it's like archangels, but it couldn't be extraterrestrials. I mean, you can be
Okay.
communicating with all kinds of different beings, consciousness on the other side. So
So it's not
me, it's like, does it feel
necessarily.
good to you? If it feels good
Yeah.
to you, you go, I really love this. I feel excited about it. I feel good about it. That's all you need to know.
I was so afraid it could be used in a negative way. That's the problem because there are people that do it that sort of scare me, to be honest. Yeah. I mean,
Well,
oh,
okay,
I
but here's the point. Whatever you're doing, it's running through your field. It's running through your belief system. So yeah, if got fear, you're fear-based and all that, like these other people, then that's what you're going to experience. But that's not you. So why look at other people that are in their fear or are whatever and go, I don't want it happening to me? Well, you're not them.
okay. I feel a
All
little
that
better about it.
matters, really, all that matters is, does that feel good to me?
I
Does this
feel better about that
me?
because it's
Because you
happened.
will
Yeah.
know.
Oh, because I've been trying to communicate with my guide. I mean, I communicate with my husband through scent for sure. If I smell something, I usually
Yeah.
know it's his presence. I can
Right, right.
feel his even if I can't touch, feel,
Right,
Here,
right.
I
You know,
smell a
yeah,
scent and I know it's him. I know it's him. But
right.
this feels like my spirit guide wants
Yeah,
me
and I
to.
think you're just opening up, more to spirit, Deborah. You're just, it's because all of you, even those who
Okay.
are wanting to connect with their partners, it's like, well, you are a spirit being, and you might want to connect with your guides and angels, and like, why not? Because that's just going to add more to you, right? They're part of your team. That's going to expand you further. I'm not saying people have to do that, but
No,
if they want to, they feel the urge to, right? They go, you know what, I'm interested in this. Well, then that's a good sign. Like, I'd go down that road, because that means your soul's going, hey, right this way, this would be good for us. Your
oh,
soul's going to tell you, like, this isn't good for us, why are we doing it? Like, but
well,
it
that's just it. It was such an amazing experience. I was about 30. I was about 30 when it happened. And I used to pray in tongues all the time, by the way, because I belonged to
well, and it can
evangelical
be
church. So I
things like
did,
that
but
can happen to people to open them up at a time when spirit feels they need kind of a little bit of a push, like,
it
hey,
was like, yeah,
we're touching base and giving you experience, right? For
okay,
your growth. So it can't
okay.
be bad, because again,
Oh, love
your
that.
higher self is running the show. So it's not like something outside imposed itself on you.
No, it was literally almost like this. It
Everything
was
that
my
happens
body.
to you, to all of us, is a reflection of us.
It literally was my body. Like first I spoke in tongues, and the next thing my body said, "This is what you're going to encounter." And then
Yeah, it's you. You're
only
talking
what
to, I think you're talking to other parts of your own consciousness.
it's almost like a light switch went on when the first time I literally felt like it went like that, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden I
yeah,
could do it.
right.
And I don't practice it often, but sometimes yes, I still can go into it,
Well,
and
if
I
you
you know,
if you feel drawn to it, then go into it, right? But
okay.
don't push on it if you don't. Like,
No, okay.
well, when people say, well, should I do da da da? I go, no, only if you want to. If it excites you, feels interesting to you, yeah. But to do it just because you think you should, nobody should
No.
do, live like that. I should do that. That's coming from the belief system, like, okay, there are things I have to do, or, like what is my purpose and I have to go do it. No, your purpose is to be you. Your life mission is to be you. And then whatever else comes from that, when you're in alignment with who you really are, then yeah, that's what you're here to explore as part of your theme, right? Because you're in touch with who you got to be who you are first. You can't say,
It's
I want to
just
go find my life purpose and then I'll be who I am. No, you won't even find the meaningful work unless you're being who you truly are. That's the foundation.
it's just very odd that I hadn't really even practiced it until after the last few months, and all of a sudden I would get emotional,
Well,
and then
it's sounds like it's time, right? It's
yeah,
next
yeah,
step for
yeah,
you. It feels good.
yeah. Well, when I was younger, this is another side of that, is because I do believe we can do all these things, but I would have nightmares of me speaking in tongues and levitating things and moving things. Now I know that's actually part of what we're going to be able to do. I
Yeah, yeah.
understand that that's actually part of that's the journey we're on. But at the time, I was so scared of it. I'd wake up and go, oh, but this is many years ago. So I sort
Oh
of
yeah,
just
you were processing your fears through those nightmares.
so I kind of pushed it down because I have seen it used for bad. I have seen people use it for bad, but
Well,
I
yeah,
do
people
believe.
can use anything that's good for something bad and something bad for
Okay.
something good. It's like
Mhm.
if things are neutral, what people do with it, they can do what they want with it.
Well, I guess that kind of answers my question because
Okay,
maybe it
great.
is time. Yes, maybe it's time to just let my guide do a
Well,
little work with
again,
me.
if it feels good to do it, then do it. But I wouldn't move in that direction unless you felt this positive impulse to go do that. But
Well, I
if
have been
you
known to
do, then
feel
go.
like
Go
a
for it.
big old kind of like I can't quite
Okay, you
describe
have
it,
these
but
you have these orbs of stuff floating around you.
yeah, yeah. I well, it's actually light. It's just my light. It's not me. It's not my aura.
Well, there's other thing that just goes like this. So I don't think it's just your light when something goes like this along this. You know what I mean? Like a UFO that goes, it's like, no, that's not like a feather floating.
It's just like
When
it'll
something
just
goes,
come over me like a cloak, almost like a protective cloak. And then I'm just able to do it. And yeah, I sort of feel like maybe it's okay now.
it's
Whereas before I was very afraid of it.
nothing to be afraid of.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and let it happen if it happens and stop, going, oh, no, 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 no. Because I don't do automatic writing. That's not something I think I'm going to know how to do. Or lucid dreaming, I'm not clear on yet. But this,
Well, I think we'll take our automatic writing course. We're going to teach
I
you
am. I'm
in about
going to
2 weeks
take
from
that
now.
one. But I guess this is like you got to go with whatever God gave you as a skill. And in my case, I have clairsentience for
I
sure.
I think what I'm hearing from the other side is everybody can talk in tongues. Everybody
Oh,
can do everything. And it doesn't mean, if you're feeling the impulse to do it, feels exciting, then go do it. But technically, anybody could do that. Um, but if it comes over you, like, go for it.
it's definitely a physical thing. I mean, it's kind of like a switch, like a light switch. It's
Yeah.
just that's how it is.
Yeah, my good friend, she just loves doing. She got into
Okay.
light language, and she just loves
Oh.
it.
Oh, so I can call the
I mean,
light language, and then I don't have to deal with the
you call it that.
evangelical.
You can call it whatever you want to call it. You get to create your reality that you want.
I may start using the word light language
Okay.
because obviously I
There
grew
you
up in
go.
a
Why don't you
very
do that? We're going to let you go so we get
okay.
other people.
All
But
right. Yeah,
good to talk
yeah.
to you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No.
Okay. Bye. Bye, Deborah. All right, Kimberly, you're next.
I don't
Hi.
have a question. I thought we had to raise our hand to get a reading.
Yep, you did. So what would you like to ask me?
Um, how do you know if you're like it's my fiance? How do you know if he's with you?
Do you have any feeling of his presence?
Yeah, if I definitely have been. He found my shoe the other day. I woke up Sunday morning. I've been looking for the shoe, and I asked my roommate to look for the shoe. We couldn't find it, and something made me look next to the recliner I sleep next to, and the shoe was there.
Okay. And if
And I knew it was him. I knew it was Tommy that found it. My fiance that passed away.
Yeah, I think you are just answered your own question. He's with you. Okay, Alan is saying he's with you and he's doing his best to get you to feel him more, like
I've
like
smelled
physically.
him. I've smelled him. He's
Yeah,
moved my pictures.
he's with you. He's not going anywhere. You have agreed to this before you came into this world, that you were going to continue your relationship. He's completely on board with it. It's going to unfold. It's just for you to just relax into it. And my advice to you would just be to trust and believe whatever's happening, because you're strongly intuitive yourself. So you'll just, like you said, you just knew that was him. You
I've
know
always
what you
seen.
know.
When my dad died, I saw him right away. Saw my great grandmother right away. I haven't seen him yet. I've heard him. I've known he's done things here. I've seen movement in the light, but I haven't actually
Yeah.
seen him.
That's
And he
okay.
hasn't come to me
That's
in a
not in
dream
that's
yet.
not unusual. It's not unusual that people, I've heard that quite often. People say, well, I saw my friend after they passed, or my uncle after he passed, or my sister, but then I didn't see my husband or something, like what's with that? I can't answer like why. It's just that that's so common. But but what I suggest for you and everybody is not to get attached to, well, how come I don't have this yet? And celebrate whatever contact you do have, because that's
Yeah,
the path to having more contact.
I
Because,
always thank him and tell him I
right, you
love
always
him.
thank him, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so be happy with whatever happens and don't fret about, well, why didn't this happen or that happen? Like, let it go. Because when we need something particular, like we're trying to insist on, well, I don't know, for example, I want to see you, we're actually pushing it away because
Yeah,
we're moving from a
I don't
state of
insist
lack.
on it. I don't insist on it. Like, he sends me a lot of music.
Yeah, right. Because I'll tell you this, in my experience, because I've worked with so many people at this point, just seeing them, that alone doesn't heal anybody's grief by itself. It doesn't.
Right.
It's
No.
feeling their love, feeling
Yeah.
their presence, having this experience that's more on an emotional, visceral level, right? Yeah, they don't have a body, but you can still feel them
Yeah, I
energetically.
can feel his
You can
shoulder
feel him.
lean
Yeah.
on when
He's
I go
making
to
contact
sleep.
with you. But that,
He
you
holds
see, that
my
kind of
hand when I
experience,
don't feel good. He holds my hand and my
right?
hand gets so
Right,
warm.
gets warm, right. So he's doing all the things he knows how to do to really help you feel him and heal your grief. The seeing him, really, guys, that's like on the bottom of the list in terms of usefulness. But people seem to think that that's the ultimate. I tell you, leave that to be the last thing
All
because
right.
when you feel their presence, there's an emotional experience because you're here to have an experience of reality, right? So just seeing something by itself is like, okay, I saw that. Because I've worked with people that can see spirit, but they're not yet having the emotional connection, like what you're describing, or even
Yeah.
feeling like presence, right? And they're still grieving, like badly, because seeing isn't enough.
It was,
Communicating is
it
important, but
was
also
really
feeling.
weird. He passed in February and I got really sick right after he passed. I was in the hospital for a while. And I cried a little bit, but I wasn't really able to cry. It didn't hit me till July 4th. And then the floodgates opened, and I've been a mess ever since. Last month, his 8-month anniversary, I was a mess. His 9-month anniversary was Friday, and his massive remembrance was yesterday, and I was an absolute mess.
Okay, so
And,
I want
and
to
then
ask you if you watched
I
our
was,
YouTube live when we talked about what grief really is, that it's
yeah,
actually love.
I was here, and I know it's love. I
Yeah,
know it's love.
you're choosing beliefs still about loss and disconnection, and that is what is.
But I don't believe it's lost. That's the thing. I don't know why I'm a mess. I don't
Well,
understand it
you
because
are
I
on some
don't
level.
believe it's lost.
It could be subconsciously you're choosing to believe. There could be a lot of things. Choosing to believe that this connection through the veil is not enough. That's common. Like, okay, I have contact, but this isn't enough. I want more. That's going to give you grief. Choosing to believe that it's not going to get stronger. Choosing to believe everybody can do this but me. Anything like that that is limiting, that's a false belief. Or again, it could be that you're unconscious about some belief about death. But the only reason we feel any emotion is in result of choosing a belief, either choosing it consciously or unconsciously.
I
So
think it was the music. It was just so beautiful. It was just such a beautiful ceremony. It just hit me.
yeah,
It
and
just hit
also
me.
his he is giving you so much love like they do for most of you in the early, let's say, year, because they're just bombarding you with love. So
It
this
is, and
love
I
is
feel
so
it.
intense that if you
Yeah,
have any trace of a negative belief, it inverts it to grief. Whereas if you were to lean into, you're here, even if you're not sure, you're here, I feel you, I love you, I know you're not dead, I know we can continue on those kind of beliefs, you'd start feeling love instead of grief.
and that's what I'm trying to do more. I
So
do feel.
just
I
keep
know
doing
he's
it. Just keep
here.
doing it. Just keep
I
doing it.
know he's here. I know he's with me. I
So
can feel
when
him in the
you
chair with
hear,
me right
hold it.
now.
Do you want to hear it? You're here to listen to us, right?
Yeah.
Because Alan wants to tell you something. He's like chomping at the bit. Next time you or anybody, you feel overwhelmed with grief, right? I want you to stop and go, all right, I'm going to choose a different belief in this moment. So in that moment, this is our suggestion. You don't have to do it. It's your free will. We suggest you choose a different belief and say, all right, feeling the grief, say, I choose to believe our connection is eternal, and I'm going to see you and feel you and hear you, and this is wonderful, and it's going to be amazing and mind-blowing. This will say, choose beliefs that will empower your connection deliberately,
Okay.
because you may be unconsciously having beliefs of loss and separation. So counter,
Okay.
don't just surrender to the grief and go, oh, unless you want to, it's okay, because I know people got to process their grief. I'm just saying, at some point, if any of you feel like, God, am I ever going to get to the other end of this? Then what do you have to lose by saying, all right, I'm going to choose beliefs that affirm what I prefer, which is I prefer to have this strong connection with my loved one. I prefer to know with absolute certainty that he's not dead, that he's always with me, on and on and on and on. Okay. Choose whatever belief makes you feel better.
I
Because I
will.
promise you guys will start shifting your grief. And you'll get to the point where then you'll feel them and experience them at levels that will blow your mind. You
That's
can
awesome.
navigate this. And again, I'm not saying suppress your grief, let it out, but let your higher self tell you, oops, maybe today we could start choosing different beliefs. Because what do we have to lose here? We can always go back to crying, but what do we have to lose here in the moment by choosing new beliefs that feel better? Let's experiment here. Why not?
Yeah, this month I had a good month. Last month I was a mess. This month I was much better because I chose to
Well, don't
believe
don't don't compare it
he
to the
was
past.
here.
Don't project in the future. It doesn't matter, like, oh, last month was better or worse or whatever. It doesn't matter. Focus now. I will tell you the main message the spirit world has for all of you. I'm right here. Don't look anywhere else. Don't look to the past, not yet, unless it makes you feel happy. Most of the time, it's not going to. Stay here with me now. I am here right now. I'm not there in the past. I'm here with you right now. I'm not there in the future. It hasn't happened yet. Don't go there. Look for me. Be with me here. If
Yeah.
you do that, everything will work out. But a lot
Yeah.
of you keep going back to the past, and they're not there. So you don't find them there. Notice they're not
Right.
there, right? And
Right.
you go, oh, they're not there. And they're going, I said I was right here.
Yeah. I'm learning that quickly.
So focus on the now. It's just a new way of, living, right? But all your power is here. If you want to connect with them, you have to do it here. They're never going to
Right.
meet you back in the past
Right.
because they're not there, especially right now, because they're trying to keep you here so that they connect
Right.
with you. Because they know if they go
Right.
back there, that you're never going to move forward. You're not going to live.
Right. Exactly.
Right? So they go, oh, why
Right.
would I ever, like, sure, later when you're fully into this relationship and your grief is a distant memory, then yeah, you guys can go frolic in the past, and they go, sure, because you're not going to be distorting yourself. You're not going to be crying about it. You're going to be, oh, wasn't that a great time we had? We had so much
Yeah.
fun. Okay.
Yeah.
But right now, they know what you need. So they're going,
Right.
she can't be back there. She's just going to
Right.
be upset because she's going back there and not being with me here. See, you're separating yourself from them when you do that. That's why
Right.
it
I
feels so crappy
understand.
when you start
Right.
going down memory lane, when you haven't established your connection in the now.
I understand.
So stay focused in the now. And this is good advice, just to be in a positive state. Focus on the now, because a lot of you are also projecting the future, worrying about the future, worrying about all kinds of things. And that is going to distort you too. That's going to make it hard for you to connect too. They mean it when they say, just stay here.
Yeah.
Everything you want is right here. Nothing you want or need is back there or forward. Okay. It will
Right.
all take care of itself. The future, moment by moment, you'll know what you need to know. If you need to know something, you'll know what you need to do. You'll be guided. Just stay focused in the present,
Right.
or you're
That makes so much
diluting your
sense.
energy and you're not focusing on them. And then you wonder, how come I can't feel them? How come I can't? Well, because you're not here.
Right. That makes so much sense.
Okay, well, we're going to let you go, my dear. Okay, I'm so glad we could talk to you. He is with you like all the time. He has an
I
agreement
know
with
he is.
you to never leave you. It's all up to you. You know, whatever you're ready for, he's ready for. And he's learning how to connect. And he's never going to stop learning that and working on that.
Thank you, Pam, so much.
You're welcome. All right.
Good night.
Good night. All right, Peggy. Hi,
Mute
Peggy.
me. Can you hear me?
I can. I sure can.
Okay. Yeah, I just was trying to plug in my phone. Okay, Pam. So tomorrow is Michael's, he died last year on Veterans Day. Just having a hard time with it, but I'm not like crying. I'm really, just right now I am. But I just feel like we're having a lot of turmoil in our family. You know, we have two sons and they're fighting so much. And it's just, everybody seems to be falling apart. And Michael was like the beacon, you know? And I'm alone and I don't know what to do. Because he just knew so much about people and he just knew,
He
and
knew what to do, how to handle it.
yeah,
Well,
he
first,
could tell people's cycles. He could tell everything about people. He just knew,
he can tell you that himself, and he is going to be helping you and telling you that himself, but not right this minute, not right away. Okay. But I have to tell you first what you said about um tomorrow, an anniversary of his passing. Immediately I heard him say, I want her to throw a party for me. I mean, I don't mean like a big party and have people over. I mean, go do something for him or with him. You know what I mean? Like do
Okay.
something special for him. Maybe go somewhere, have his favorite meal or something, or his favorite dessert or whatever. Something that you know would be meaningful to him, right? That you go and do that with him. Just
Okay.
you and him. It doesn't have to be anybody else unless that is what you want or that works for you. He's saying that with things in the family, he goes, he's showing me that a lot of stuff needed to be stirred up. It's all coming up for a reason. Like there's stuff that has been suppressed and wasn't really being said or dealt with or whatever. It was all like put under the rug or something, swept under the rug, if you know what I mean. And yeah, he kind of kept things at bay for, like he's showing me, putting out a lot of fires in the family or like, but he says all the stuff that's coming out now has to come up. And it's important that you not take anything personally or get overly involved in it, because they all got to work through what they got to work through. So try to be, he knows it's hard because you're such a caring, compassionate person. It's really hard for you to see people you love at odds or suffering or anything. It really hurts you. And he was always kind of being the buffer. Because he's a strong one. He was always
Yeah.
like able to do that. But he says now he kind of feels a little bit, I want to put it, I want to say bad. It's just, he just feels, he feels like a bit concerned because he was so much of the buffer and now he's not there, and you never kind of got to learn to be strong, and now you got to learn how to be strong, right? And so he's concerned about, he's not worried about you because he doesn't have fear about it. He just feels concerned. Just concern is the word. But he knows that he's going to come through to you and you're going to hear him and he's going to advise you, because your husband is just like you said, he's really insightful about people and about life. And he was really tuned in and very psychic, although he wouldn't have called himself that. He was really
Right.
tuned in and could read situations and people. Okay. But he says he's going to transfer that to you in that sense because he's coming through you. Like so I really hope we're going to launch our open the doors to our automatic writing mini workshop. I hope you take that because he wants to write through you. And in many ways he wants to communicate with you, okay? Because you are going to hear him very clearly because he's strong on the other side. He's just really getting, let's just say, his muscle developed over there. Like he's really working to come through. And and so really all you need to do is just kind of stay out of the drama, all the melodrama. And we suggest that you look at it like it is like a soap opera and not take it seriously. Like, okay, we're in this movie and this melodrama movie is so like, people get hysterical and they get really upset and just see it like, okay, it is just a movie. And when we cross over to the other side, we all get together and go, wasn't that a crazy movie we were in? And we were so mad at each other and angry at each other. And look what I said and did. And look at what you said and did. And everybody's like, oh, isn't it great? Now we all love each other. So he says, can you pull back and see it from that bigger picture? Because that's the truth. It is just a melodrama. It is something that the people involved have chosen to experience to learn something from. Okay. All hell has not broken loose. It might look like it, but they're just diving in to experience contrast, to experience this craziness. It's not about you. So just detach from it. Doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you're not getting plugged in and taken all personally.
I just hope nothing happens to either one of them.
Well,
because
that's their choice.
Okay.
You can't, it's kind of none of your business. Like they've
Okay.
got to go through what they got to go through.
Okay.
So what you can do, what he's urging you to do is say, hold the vision of everything going well, rather than, oh my God, I hope this doesn't happen, because then you're lending energy to that happening.
Yeah,
So
I don't want
instead, just keep affirming right? Like hold a vision of them working it out, getting, everything sorted. Hold that. Feed your energy, your attention to that. Okay.
Okay.
Now that's the best you can do because they're still going to choose what they're going to choose. But if you want to help, hold the positive vision that you would like for them and then let it go.
Okay.
Because again, their higher selves are leading the way. A higher self might go, you know what? They need this lesson. Things maybe need to get worse before they get better. You don't know. But their higher self is in control of their life. So just know that it's all okay. We'll turn the control back over to their higher self. It's not for you to control it.
Yeah.
Your husband knows that now. Michael knows it. He goes, yeah, it wasn't for me to really control it either. To just let people learn what they learn instead of trying to put out the fire. Sometimes people got to walk through the fire to
But
learn.
he had a way of like stopping it. He just could say things or whatever. He could just had a way to stop any of the nonsense. And he always used to tell me, Peg, go in the room, go in our room.
Yeah, and now he regrets because now you're kind of in the room, right? You're kind of dealing with all the drama, so you have to do it. But he says don't worry, let it play out. Think of on the big picture. Nobody's dying. Nobody like sometimes people have to just have this chaos to work it through, get all it out on the table and let it go. Okay, because there is growth coming from it.
Okay.
So, and don't worry about that. And tomorrow, go somewhere, do something to celebrate. That's really what they generally want us to do on the day of their transition to celebrate their transition. Literally, they returned home to a big party. And while they know that we were grieving, as a soul, it was a celebration because when you return home to their side, it's always like that, like a graduation, like you with honors and you go home. So
I want to know that he's okay. I always want to know if he's
They're
okay.
all okay. All of them say, why do you guys keep asking if we're okay? You're the ones that aren't okay in the physical world. As soon as you cross over, we're in paradise. We're in heaven. How could it not be okay? The only way vaguely it could not be okay is because we're concerned about you.
Right. When he was dying, like we didn't know he was dying, we didn't accept it. But when he was really sick, he said to me once, he goes, "So, Peg, you want to come with me?" And I said, "Yes, I do. I really do want to come with you." And he said, "No, you don't.
Not your
You're not
time.
going to
It's
get
not your
to."
time.
Right.
He's saying soon enough, don't be in a hurry, soon enough. There's still things you're doing and you're there holding the space for your family, and he's going to connect with you, and he's always with you right now.
Okay. I'm happy that he's gonna, because I don't want to leave them either. It's just like such a thing because I've, my grandchildren and my sons and my mother. I don't want to leave any of
You will leave when it's time for you to leave and not a moment sooner. Well, he knows that.
this. But it was
So,
just funny because he just said,
but
"No, you can't." And I don't know, he was the one that said it. It's
no,
like,
he knew you can't. He says, don't worry, you'll go in your time.
and I'll see him. And
And
I'll see.
you'll be looking forward to it because you know that he's there. You're going to fully reunite with him when you cross over,
Okay.
so you'll be looking forward to it. But right now you're not done yet. It could be that you're there to just hold the space for your family, for your grandkids or whoever, and you're not complete yet. That doesn't mean you'll be there, indefinitely. I just mean, not yet, obviously, because you're here. If it was your time, you'd be gone already.
Yes, yes, yes.
So just make the best of it, right? Say, I'm here for a reason. I'll just make the best of being here, and I'll connect with my husband while I'm here.
This morning when I was in the bathroom, I swear I heard him say, like, "Just stay out of it and let them do
That's
it."
right. That's right. That's what we just said.
He said
He
that to
said,
me.
let
Stay out of it.
let it go. That's between them to work out. You don't want to interfere in it.
Mm.
Don't get in the middle of it.
Both of them are wanting me to
Well, just
because
stay.
I have the power.
But that's even more reason not to take sides or get involved, right?
Right.
Like they
I
both
don't
want
have
you
the
to
power.
be on their side or choose, or you've got to be
Michael.
neutral. They got to work it out with
Yeah.
themselves.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pam.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank Alan too for bringing Michael. And thank you, Michael. I love you, Michael. All
Yeah,
right.
Michael's doing great on the other side. You have a lot to look forward to, I'll just say that. Since you joined our cabin, you have a lot to
Okay.
look forward to. Okay.
Thank you.
You're so
Thank you.
welcome. All right, Lori, last but not least, we'll talk to you and then we'll be closing out. Hi, Lori.
Hello.
Okay, there you go.
Hi.
Hi. So what is your question for us?
So many. I am my husband's death anniversary is coming up in 4 days.
Okay.
I feel him. We were married in Hawaii. A lot of the stuff, you and Alan, he was older than me. He was 20 years older, senior. I mean, so many things. Your book. Um, I had immediate communication with him as soon as he passed. That sort of thing. I guess my question is that my mother passed when I was 13, and I don't feel like I've ever felt her. Do certain spirits choose to connect, or are they unable? Are they not? Have they not gone through their steps or paces or schooling?
Well,
I don't know.
they all vary in their ability to come through. Um, I don't know why sometimes they don't. I mean, it's hard to say why. Um, when did she pass away? You said when you were 13?
Yeah, in 77, it was August 14th. Actually, 14 is a big number. She passed in August 14th. My grandmother passed 5 months to the day of her March 14th my husband passed. 14th, my grandmother passed. On the 7th was February 7th of, and that's 14.
Well,
You
I'm
know,
getting that she's always been in your life as a guide to you, which isn't unusual when a parent passes away, that they're still actually involved with their children's life to some degree. And nowadays, especially nowadays, the parent on the other side is often very present in the family with people that I work with anyway, because the the children are more psychic now than ever, and they oftentimes are saying, "Oh yeah, I see dad over here, and he's talking to me," and it's almost like a given. And so, but
well,
it's
I just
different,
found
so
right.
it
I just
depends.
found
Like,
out that she was my bio father was not my bio father, so she never, I never. It was revealed through DNA, and so I kind of went through a period where I was very angry with her, and maybe still am,
but
because
I feel that you can still communicate with her if you attempt to do that, um, because she's there in
it's
your
not been as
field.
it's not been as successful as with my husband, I guess.
It's not that, I'm sorry, it's not that what?
Not It's not been as successful, and I don't feel like I've felt her the way I feel my husband, or feel, and I
Well,
don't know if I'm
the
dealing with
way we
guides
feel,
or
the way
angels
we
or
feel somebody other than a partner is always going to be different than how we feel.
right, right,
There's no
right.
comparison to that.
But I would think a mother would be even kind of a more, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I
What I'm
guess I
hearing,
feel abandoned
are
somewhere.
are you are you do you still have any unresolved anger, resentment, or anything
I,
toward her?
yeah, I get. Well, yeah, because she married my. She.
Okay,
I didn't know who my father was.
that's the issue then.
That's always kept us apart.
Well, that would be a wall between you.
I had one visit with that I thought was a visit when I was about 14 or 15, and I was in I went to like a housing development, and it was nighttime, and I looked at her house, and she came out to get the paper, and she looked up and saw me, but she didn't recognize me at all, and she turned around and went back into the house, and I felt like that was she
Wait,
shut
wait,
the
wait. That
door.
was a dream you had.
That was a visitation. Well, I felt there was a visitation. It was real, like she shut the door on me and went and lived her life in this ranch style, her house, and she didn't even recognize who I was.
When she passed away, were you angry about that? I mean, I know you were devastated too
We
emotionally, but were you angry?
we were having issues. I was 13. We were
Yeah,
having mom daughter issues.
you were having issues, and
There was
because
a
the
lot of
dream you're describing, it doesn't sound like a visitation dream. It sounds like you were processing your anger.
I know.
Because the other
It's
side
still so
of the
it's just so
visit,
vivid. It's vivid. It's still
oh
vivid to
yeah,
this
yeah, it
day.
can be that way. It can be that way. But
Okay.
and plus if you were you were what, 13, you say? And so
13,
a lot of times
14.
when we're young, our imagination is way stronger. I mean, we're just so, because when on the other side, they're they don't ever come through like shutting us out. Like, why would they do that? Because even if they were flawed when they were here and they had issues when they were here, right? And they were not perfect when they were here, when they cross over, they go, oh God, now I see the big picture. And there's only
Well,
love. So
but
if
she wanted to give me up for adoption. I think she wanted to abort me, and she couldn't because of the time. And she was forced into having me. And I think there was just a lot of resentment during my lifetime. And also, my father was Hispanic, and she couldn't.
yeah.
And I didn't know that until 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So I think there was a lot of. So I don't know if
Well,
she loved him or if it was non-consensual, if am I a love child or am I a hate child? I mean, I feel like I'm an indigo child. I feel like I have
Yeah.
lots of abilities, but
Yeah, you do.
I'm not I'm not sure if it's just because of all of my guides coming to help me because I didn't have anyone here in the physical world to help me.
I don't think in time, hopefully, you'll realize that you set all this up together with your mom, that everything played out for a reason. And if
And I
you
keep
can't talk
asking.
to her, it's because you haven't resolved the issues that you're still carrying with her, because those will block communication. She can't,
So it's
you're
so
not
it's
on
just
her
me.
frequency because you're resentful and angry and hurt, which I understand. I'm not saying you don't have any right to. Obviously you do, but that's there's too big of a gap, because that has to be closed. Like when in writing our book, I talked about how I was so angry at Alan. And he knew I had to just get it out and say, yeah, you were such a shit. Like you were da, da, da. Like just call him on the carpet. And he goes, just get it out because yeah, I was, and I'm sorry. And we worked through all that. But everybody's got to work through that if they want to connect,
But how
because
do you work
otherwise
through
we're too
people
far
being
apart
abused?
vibrationally.
But how do you work through abuse?
How do you, I'm sorry?
How do you work through your abuse? And I mean, she abused my siblings. I mean, we were somewhat abused.
You forgive her, okay? Isn't make it right. It sets you free, because you judging her, right? It doesn't make it right what she did. We're not saying it was okay what she did, but you judging her is actually judging you, because that's your mom. And so what I get was your mom had a really difficult life and was a very distorted person, clearly based on how she treated you and your siblings, just how she behaved, right? So Spirit is saying, can you see through the lens of compassion that, yes, she didn't do a good job as a mom. She failed you and your siblings, right? But can you see that she did her best, even though it didn't look like it? Everybody's doing their best, even if they are failing terribly at what they're doing, even if they're hurting people, even if they're lashing out, whatever they're doing. People don't do unloving, unkind things if they're whole. They do those things because they're broken. But it's not to excuse her behavior. It's not to say it's okay what she did. It's to explain it so that you can go free and say she almost couldn't help herself because she was so broken. And to see that you chose her for your mom, because we all do. We choose our parents and we know what is likely to unfold, and we chose it for a reason. Like I've worked with people who chose to be born into like one person chose to be born into a family where everybody in the family rejected him. Plus he was gay. He didn't relate to anybody in the family because they're all like Christian far right, and he's like homosexual and liberal. And he's like, nobody in his family, no relative, no immediate family, no, but everybody judged him, kicked him out of the house, abused him. And he realized later, he said, I went through that because I was here to find the love within me, not to find it in other people. And then he went on to counsel people, to be an abuse counselor and a teacher and a speaker. And that was on purpose, to galvanize him to be of service. But he had to go down a rough road and have everybody in his family basically turn on him and say, we don't love you. Not only do we not care, we hate you. Not only not love you, we actually hate you and wish you were dead and get out of our life, right? So but he realized, I'm not a victim. I must have created this. So when you look at it that way, this must be happening for a reason. or it wouldn't be happening. How's it serving me? Then you can dig into it and go, okay, what can I make of it? Or you can look at it like, okay, this is terrible. This is unfair. I just don't accept it and be in resistance to it and just be miserable. And that's your choice. And we understand that it's hard. We get it. And I understand it's hard to say, I created that. Why would I create that? Right? Like this guy, like, why did I create this family that I don't even look like these people, he said.
Exactly. Me
I
neither.
don't even look like them. They're completely of a different planet from me, and they hate me, and they're kicking me out of the door. But he found this love within himself that he would have never found or developed. And spirits told me everybody, almost everybody, every soul chooses a life like that, because that kind of a life, that soul grows tremendously when it has to dig in and say, I'm my source. All I need is my love. Then anybody else's love is a bonus. It's like, because they have it within them, right? So they go, I'm whole and complete. I don't need anybody. And when you don't need anybody, guess what? You can have any relationship you want, because now you're not in need. Now you're a whole person. So I hear that you just took on a tough assignment. And you're a teacher in your own way, and your story is relatable to so many people, and you came here to serve. So you didn't come here to have a perfect picture postcard life, because people go, what can I learn from that? Your life was perfect. Like you have nothing to teach me. You've never walked a mile in my shoes. Like you had it too easy. No, you came here. They're showing me, you said, I'll go, that because you're strong. Your soul is really strong. I know it doesn't always feel that way. I get it.
It's,
But
it's
yeah,
getting there. It's improved. It's just my mother's. It's just been a long history and just new discoveries with my
I know.
DNA.
You must feel like the other shoe's dropping again. like like what else is happening? What else is going to happen? What else am I going to learn?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that
So, well, and I
exciting?
think
Isn't life exciting?
just angry about not knowing my medical history, or just for
Oh,
years she just allowed me to say, oh, gave me some random stranger's medical history and said it was my own. That's
all
a
right.
little
So
bit.
here's our question to you at this juncture. Would you prefer to be at peace with this and move forward and be liberated, or do you want to just stay stuck in the past and bemoan it and stay in that energy? Because really, like we talked about at the top of this tonight or session, we're choosing which earth are we on. You really got to decide which earth you want to be on, and guess which one kind of sucks. So it's up to you, though. Like, do I want to forgive, not for your mother's sake, for your sake? Because I promise you, when you cross over and go home, when you go home, it's all going to be made right. But the point is, why not make it right now while you're here, so that you don't suffer while you're still in the body?
Yeah,
But don't
agreed.
forgive her for her sake, for your sake. She would like you to, just because she knows then you'll be free. Then you'll be happy, but not because of her. Because I'll tell you what, I will tell you, Alan's told me too, when they have to play that kind of role, which she agreed to, and what he, in our marriage, how he treated me, it wasn't so horrible. It wasn't like he was an abuser. It wasn't like, but in his view, he was very neglectful, and he wasn't proud of it, and it still haunts him. So I can promise you, for your mom, there's a part of her that is having a hard time getting over that. But it was out of immense love for you that she said, okay, I'll play that role. That's going to be really tough to play, but I'll do it because it's going to help you learn what you want to learn, or have a contrast experience. But it's in a sense, it's almost like a sacrifice, because the soul remembers that. And some souls, I'm not saying this is your mom, but some souls, what they have done when they were in a body, they can't find peace with it when they cross over. And it's really hard because it's very, I know, I don't mean to sound glib about it, but it's really easier. It's actually easier to be the victim than the abuser because you have self-righteousness on your side, or we do, right? Like I didn't do anything to deserve, which is basically true too. But on their end, it's like they committed whatever act they committed, and they can't take it back. They can't change it. They can feel horrible for eternity, but they can't change it, right? So they have to live with that, in a sense, a bit of a stain on their soul, if you will. And yeah, everybody has to go through that, you could say, which is true, but it's still not fun. It's still not a great experience. But if you can start to see it from her perspective, again, not to take her off the hook, but I promise you, she's the one that's been berating herself more than you ever would, because that's what they do on the other side when they go through their life review, because she felt everything she did to you and your siblings like it was done to her.
Okay. I know that. Thank you. Thank you.
So if you can forgive her, then you can feel the love she has for you, which she does have, and get to know her.
Yeah, I don't know her.
But you can, because she's still here. You've just been keeping her at bay with your judgment of her, which is understandable. Again, you didn't feel safe. So she's keeps her distance. You don't feel safe. She respects that. She doesn't want to push herself on you, because the last thing she wants to do is make you more upset. But if you wonder, well, where is she? Well, she's kind of in the corner around the door. Like she's like, I'm hiding here because I don't want to be,
So if I call or ask for her to, like I've been having dates with my husband or setting time, so maybe I can incorporate that with her as well. Maybe have a little.
Do this if you can, when and if you feel ready. Okay, ask your guides to help you experience what your mother experienced, like experience her life. I had a friend who did that. His mother very much abused him, like tried to kill him several times. Okay. But yet was also very loving. So it's kind of schizophrenic, like loving and then trying to kill you. Like, so, but he asked just to understand, because she said, she wanted him to know her. And he goes, okay. And I know you can do that. Anybody can do this. Say, all right, so be in her shoes, right? Like be her if you're ready, when you're ready for it. And you'll see her life through her perspective, like my friend did. And after that, he had great compassion. Because he said, oh my God, she couldn't do any better than that. She's lucky she even lived as long as she lived. She would have killed herself. Like the torment, the inner torment and stuff. Okay, so try that. I would suggest that for anybody who's trying to like have somebody that hurt them or have unforgiveness for. Be in their shoes. Again, not to let them off the hook, but to understand, why the hell did you do that? So that you can go free, because you're stuck in the past, to a past that is not really supporting you in your now, that's draining your life force, right? Because you're stuck with that resentment and hurt and abandonment. When she's right here and she wants to make it right, I know you'll make it right when you cross over, because you will. That's what we all do. We all make amends, and we all see, oh, I see why you did that. Oh my God, I understand that. Okay. But you can understand that now, so that you can go free.
Yeah, I would like to. I would like to go free.
Well, when you're ready, go and connect with her. Step into her field. Because she's still alive. She's still with you. Okay? And and Alan's saying, when you do that, you'll know more of you too, because she's your mom. So she's kind of a part of you, even just by the DNA part, right? He says, so if you step into her, you'll get an understanding of you too, of yourself. And you'll be whole again, because when we, especially when we judge like a parent, because we do share DNA, when we judge other people, we're always judging ourselves anyway. But when it's a parent, it's doubly hard, because they're our parent, so it's like you're chastising yourself even harsher, and that's why it can feel like you're tearing yourself apart. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. We hope that helped.
It did.
Alan says it did. I hope it. All right, he says it did. Okay, I'll believe him. He's not going to give me much choice anyway. All right, thank you, my dear. All right, everybody, we went really long here on YouTube also. So, your homework, right? Choose what earth you want to live on and align with that, and go all in on that, and keep your eyes focused in the present on what you choose to, create in your life, how you prefer to live. You have the power. Don't give it anybody else. Don't give it anybody else. All the answers to your questions are within you, because you are an expression of source. And when you ask the universe a question, because the universe is interactive, you will get an answer. It'll come to you, maybe in that moment, or maybe when you're brushing your teeth, or you're washing the dishes, or even driving the car, an answer could come in. Okay. Because you're supported by the universe. And for every question, there's an answer. And for every problem, there's a solution. That is just how creation is set up. All right. Thank you. We love you guys. You take care. We'll see you when we see you. All right. Have a great beginning of the week. Or see you Wednesday when we go live. I guess we're going live still Wednesday. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You're so welcome.